insulting in some cultures, just as walking up to someone in the street and handing them $1 because you thought their shoes were tatty would be insulting. If Americans plan on going to Japan, for instance, they shouldn't tip, rather they should just be polite.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we are back with another reaction to things Americans do that other countries may not understand. But this one is about stereotypes.
This should be good.
Thinking. So, if you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit the red subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell, because we're on the road to 50K. And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
The big, brash, rude American. An unfair stereotype made up by non-Americans harboring enmity towards a hegemonic culture that has bled into almost every crevice of the world, or an unassailable truth that Americans should take counsel for. The concept of the rude American has been around a while. Mark Twain wrote about the phenomenon of the loud, gauche American upsetting the locals on his travels, while a novel and later a movie starring Marlon Brando was called The Ugly American. If you are American and watching this, you might take some solace in the fact that the Chinese are making the headlines these days as the world's most badly behaved tourists. The question is, are the Yanks really that bad?
It's the artwork for me so far.
In this episode of the Infographic Show, American behavior is considered rude around the world. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. If there is one thing Americans, fairly or unfairly, are accused of, it's being too loud. This has been an accusation going around for some time. Is it actually true? Well, a lot of opinion articles out there seem to think so. There is no scientific evidence, however. A story published by the Huffington Post once blamed this loudness on the fact that awareness of how personal actions impact others seems to be a weak point for Americans in general. The loud Chinese tourist groups are said to be partly a result of personal space or lack thereof. But Americans
I don't know about
have
this
space,
one.
for the most part. Some people take American loudness seriously too. One cafe in Ireland made the headlines in 2014 because of a sign in its window, "No bus/coach or loud Americans." Thank you. This sparked outrage in America, but you might ask if all these quiet objectors have a point. American writer and social critic Hunter S. Thompson may have put the alleged loudness down to privilege, pride, and too much belief in personal power. But in America,
personal power.
making yourself heard is a-okay. Unfortunately for loud folks, in some cultures it isn't. What many tourists traveling in the USA don't realize
I'm loud.
Tipping in some situations is not just an act of kindness.
They say you're
the
not.
wages the tips are actually expected. Not tipping in some situations would be plain rudeness. It can also work the other way in other countries. Tipping can be insulting in some cultures, just as walking up to someone in the street and handing them $1 because you thought their shoes were tatty would be insulting. If Americans plan on going to Japan, for instance, they shouldn't tip, rather they should just be polite and not too loud. In a Japanese restaurant or using a taxi service, if you try to tip, you'll likely get the money back. Good service is something you deserve in Japan, and handing over money might be perceived as charity. Much of Asia, China, Hong Kong, South Korea, is similar, but the same goes for parts of Europe. In the UK, it might be okay to tip in a high-end restaurant, but throw an extra quid at the barman in a traditional pub, and you'll likely create an awkward moment. Americans are often complimented for their being forthright and outspoken. This has also been called obnoxious. It just depends where you are. In much of Europe, especially restaurants in France and the UK, sending food back is quite extreme. The "customer is always right" adage doesn't work so well in Europe. According to a
hold on. What's that? You got something to say?
Yes. Okay, so we send food back with the quickness.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Because if we're paying for it, we want it to be how we expected it to be.
And to go on to other stuff that they was talking about, if we're paying for it and want it to be how expected to be and it's good, we leave a tip.
Right. What's wrong with a tip?
And what's wrong with just being loud and saying, "This food was great. Who cooked it?"
Right. Well, that's you. You do things like that.
Restaurants for asking for ketchup or salt with their hot cuisine. Surveys have revealed that 38% of British people would never complain regardless of the state the food was in. In Asia, a continent where lots of face is taken with utmost seriousness, Americans should be aware that if they do complain, it should be done in a way
let's check them out.
Try and say, "Hi, the food is absolutely delicious, but do you think you could put it under the grill for another 10 minutes?" In 2016, online review community Trustpilot did indeed report that Americans are prone to grumbling, stating that a survey it conducted confirms the American propensity to complain. On to matters
It's
of a
not
more
complaining.
sartorial nature. There's a meme making the rounds in which tech billionaires Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg are complimented for their rather informal and unshowy dress code. Americans like to don a pair of flip-flops and a t-shirt now and again, but do this on a date, in a government office, or at a house party in some countries, and it could be perceived as you insulting the person or
wouldn't do
people
that
you are
there.
meeting with. In parts of the
We
developing world,
always
you have
dress.
the money, you are expected to wear the money, as some people can't be that fortunate. Never
Wow.
dress down when you have an appointment in Asia, and for women, remember that showing too much skin could be conceived as impolite. In Thailand, for instance, while a
Wow.
backpacker won't get thrown out of a government office for wearing shorts and a tank top, that person's breach of Thai propriety will result in them probably just having a harder time than other tourists in that office. If you don't care, they won't. In 2013, the world's richest man, Bill Gates, was mired in controversy after he apparently disrespected South Korean President Park Geun-hye by shaking her hand with his other hand in his pocket. We all...
Okay, hold on. That's not for everybody, because there's some people like you and I who we care how we look when we go out.
100%.
So we're not gonna wear, even if it's just me and you going out on dates to the park, we're not gonna wear no flip flops or whatever. The only time that I'm gonna wear like like athletic wear or anything is if I'm going to a football game with my kids or maybe the grocery store, but I'm not gonna wear
Let
no.
us be comfortable though. Let us
Yeah.
be comfortable. Like if we want to put on an outfit that is presentable or reasonable for the day of, that we feel like if it's hot we want to wear flip flops or something, or if it's nice windy we just want to put on like a little small sweater or anything like.
Yeah.
And it may not be fit for the event that we headed to. At the end of the day, it's like we wouldn't still be stereotyped or judged for that to the extreme, like how they
Right.
expressing it,
like
rude or women being too revealing.
we know what to do, and also it depends on personality. It depends on that person's lifestyle. Like I'm not a person who shows a lot of skin, so it just depends on the person. It's not much of a culture.
They talking about where your money.
Oh, wear your money.
They say wear your money. They say not everyone's fortunate to do that, but in some places they want you to wear your money. I'm not about to just put it on every eye. Bill Gates don't do that. Who else don't do that? Zuckerberg. What's that little guy named who made Facebook? Mark, yeah, he don't do all that. No. So at the end of the day, I understand where they're coming from because different rules apply for different locations.
Different
but
cultures.
We don't. Yeah, it's different. It's new to me. I don't know.
It's rude to do.
President Gates is not one to stand on ceremony, but his lackadaisical greeting was seen as brazen to the Korean press. Cultural difference or an act of disrespect?
It's just
asked one
cultural
newspaper.
difference.
Yeah, that's
Koreans
it.
took to social media to mount a show of dismay. Even considering the cultural difference, there is an appropriate manner for certain occasions, wrote one commenter. But to most Americans, such an act was not an act of disrespect, but just being friendly or laid back. Americans value freedom and individualism,
We do.
while some other cultures value hierarchy, status, and conformity. Speak up, be who you want, says the American, while there's a saying in Japan that says, hammer the nail that sticks out. When in Rome, do as the Romans do is probably a lot more relevant to strict Asian cultures than it is to laid back.
Hammer the net that sticks
I'm
out.
gonna say
Turning up
that
late
thing.
for an informal appointment might seem like poor form in the USA, and also in Northern Europe, but in other countries you are actually not expected to be right on time. In Spain, for instance, being on time is not seen as such a big deal at all, and certainly something you shouldn't balk at. Being fussy about punctuality might be construed as being difficult offhand. In Thailand, they have what's called Thai time, which means being late for a date or dinner appointment is just accepted as the norm. According to one article,
Wow,
in
that is-
Argentina, if you turn up on time for a dinner party at someone's house, it'll be seen as you being rather pushy. The article compares it to being an hour early for dinner in America. Moroccans are equally laid back about time. According to some people, they simply don't concern themselves with the matter of punctuality. It's similar in Mexico, India, Indonesia, Greece, Saudi Arabia, Ghana, and Russia, but turn up late in Japan or the UK, and you'll nettle someone's ego for sure. Maybe the most amusing fact is that in Brazil, where punctuality isn't a big issue, when they want people to actually be punctual, they say things like 3 p.m. English time. Academics state that there are monochronic and polychronic cultures, those that value orderliness and sticking to plans, and those that take things as they come. Making out in public is probably the one faux pas Americans need to understand. Kissing, or even hugging, in public spaces in some countries is about as shocking to people as actually having sexual intercourse in public in the USA.
No, it's probably as shocking as people at the beginning of the time when Elvis did the vulgar hips. That's how shocking it probably is.
We always talk about how Elvis wasn't, he even get the opportunity to do a world tour. Baby, I can only imagine those headlines.
Yeah, he would have been doing more than picking that pinky up. He'd be doing some other stuff too. Make sure you don't pick up that pinky.
Rule to follow here is just don't be intimate or over tactile with your lover in public all over the Middle East. In Dubai, a city that might look modern, kissing in public could land you in jail. In Indonesia, a kissing session in the streets could result in a fine of $29,000.
I'm shocked, y'all.
Boy, just stay away from me when we go travel.
I'm touching you.
Public displays of affection are generally outlawed in a non-legal sense. Holding hands might be acceptable, but anything that might provoke a get a room response in the USA would definitely be met with disdain. If loud noise is merely irksome in some cultures, getting it on in public could be a serious offense both legally and in the context of propriety. Always be sure to read the cultural do's and don'ts before visiting any country. Follow this advice and you will certainly have a better experience traveling around the world. To be fair to Americans, we might also remember that they could also be the ones upset at having their own boundaries breached regarding behavior. This could happen when the Asian person doesn't think twice about asking Americans how much money they earn, or asking their age, or telling them that they've put on lots of weight and look fat. Okay for them, and polite to the American. Or what about when the Spanish dude turns up 1 hour late for dinner and the meal is ruined? Or when that Chinese girl you started dating got upset just because you showed her some warmth and affection? With this in mind, do you really think it's fair that Americans are called rude or ugly? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, be sure to check out our other video.
Yeah, this was a different one, you guys.
Yeah, this was different. Okay, so I want to touch real quick on the time, because you know there's American time and there's BP time, right? It's just interesting that in other cultures it's okay to be late, but here when we're late, we're looked at as, oh, they're always late. So you know, like it's so never being on time.
Culture. Well, I can't say the word culture.
You can say it.
It's like for other people, you know what I'm saying? It like they come to America off the dump. The men out here are going to be flirtatious with a woman that they find attractive. But if they're coming from a background where the touching is inappropriate in public and she's going to be mad standoffish, or she's going to want to move to America. Yeah. I'm just saying, because she may like what she like.
She may like it.
And like wearing your money, being overly loud, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so many really like just you walk on eggshells. I just say be silent if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, how you gonna tell somebody that they can't touch their spouse or kiss their spouse or
like when you marry a person, you have limitless access to that individual until you go into a different country and they be like, this is not what we do. Jail. You can go to jail from loving on your wife in public. You know what I'm saying? I thought you get fined for littering. Right. Not for touching your wife or your husband, you know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy that it's considered rude, some of the things that we do. But I do understand, you know, we are Americans, so we do American things. This is our way of life. But, definitely when we do start traveling abroad, definitely gonna read up on the laws and the rules, the do's and the don'ts.
I'll be honest with you guys. I would 100% respect the culture and whatever they have at hand. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, it's interesting, and I love to expand my mind and do new things and see how things work and operate. You know what I'm saying? It's like a level and a test at the same time. So if we out there and we can't be touchy in public, you know I'm gonna be in some sense of way funny about it. Yeah. Though I can get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to do something in secret, but you can't because you're gonna get in trouble if they find out. Yeah. But it's like it makes it more intense.
Yeah, but we're fun, positive people. Yeah. You know, so but I appreciate other cultures.
I do 100%.
What may be rude or weird to them is not to us, and vice versa. You know, we're not all going to be the same. If you want to get a little bit spiritual on it, it's like when God made the Babels, you know, and everybody had their own languages and they couldn't understand each other. So that's kind of like that. You know?
Basically 100%.
It was an interesting video.
Yeah. This is a good topic, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know where you are tuning in from, some cultural differences. We'd love to, you know, have a positive dialogue in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you'd like to support the channel that way. Give however you may. Okay, no pressure. We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.